listen.
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Get on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
There's when somebody texts you and says, what did you say to me? This pot is about to be effing gold. I don't like to curse in the first minute. Then you say, well, we have to do a podcast. So that's why there's nobody I'd rather talk to than Joe Kelly.
Long time no see, Bobby Bradford.
Well, I flew out all the way to L.A. so I could do a podcast in a hotel room 10 minutes from your house.
You're a liar, bro.
Because you're under the weather. Anyway, it doesn't make a difference. The technology makes us come together right now to tell maybe the wildest. So Joe, typically I'm the one who has to do the podcast, even though you're the co-owner, even though you
own the whole company.
Yeah, well, yeah, big things coming with that. Big things coming with that. So typically I'm the one that has to chase you down to do a podcast. Almost every single time, but you're good about it, so I appreciate it. This time, I think this might have been the first time you ever said, "We're doing a podcast."
I missed your face so much.
Yeah, well,
since I've got my third ring, you know what I mean. There's big things happening.
If we're power ranking the reasons that went through my head why you wanted to do a podcast, it was A, because you missed my face. B, you were going to retire. Then three, also you signed with somebody and you're going to come back. All these things. But what we're about to talk to is better than all.
It's fun. It's just fun. Good old-fashioned fun.
Good old-fashioned fun. We've talked a lot about you coaching your team, your Knox's team,
yep.
And your passion for it and the good and the bad and all the chaos that comes with this. But I think, Joe, honestly, what we're about to talk about after we just talked a little bit about it before the podcast, what we're about to talk about, you could be Joe Schmo, who cares, like anybody. Yeah. And if that person came to me and said, hey, I want to do a podcast because this happened in youth sports, I'd be like, let's do the podcast. Let's do the podcast. I mean, that person wouldn't even have to have a baseballs and boring tattoo on his arm. Wouldn't have to do any of that. Wouldn't have to have any relationship to me. That's how crazy this is. All right. Set the scene. Go ahead.
Set the scene.
Yeah. Okay. Set the scene. So you want me to set the scene for you? You're coaching. You're coaching.
Yeah. So
you're coaching your son.
People who don't know.
Yeah. Go ahead.
A lot of people know by now.
Yeah.
We played in the last big tournament of the year. For our 9U travel ball team. It's called the USSSA World Series. And it's all the best teams, right? Supposedly. And they all get together for a 5-day event. Five days. You could play as little as 8 games like we did, or as many as 15. Depends if you lose. So we went 8-0 and played a phenomenal tournament. I looked back at the numbers. We trailed the tournament in only 2 innings. We were down by 1 run in 2 innings of an 8 wins. So we pretty much steamrolled this whole thing. Boys played great baseball, heads up, stayed locked in. Meanwhile, it was 105 there. It's in Paris. But yeah, it was a fun event. I was proud of the kids. They fought thick and through crazy events, crazy wins. Trusted me as a coach. Made pinch hitting adjustments, bunted kids who didn't want to bunt, put kids on defensive spots they're not used to, batted my cleanup hitter first throughout the whole entire tournament because he's our best hitter. He was like a mini Shohei.
Wow, analytics.
Yeah, so I went a little bit in the new school.
Yeah.
With the tournament, but yeah, I guess if you don't know, we made a championship game. Played this same team that is a decent team. They're good. They're talented, but not coached very well. We played in the championship game, and little do you know, we steamrolled them again, and they weren't too happy about it, obviously. But what took place throughout the whole entire game was one of the most mind-blowing experiences I've ever been a part of. First of all, I didn't really have to coach much, which is great. I was like, most innings, I was on a knee coaching third base, not even giving signs. I was like, just steal when you want to. I trust you guys. Just bunt when you want to. I trust you guys. And I was telling them this. I'm like, you guys are like 9-year-olds, but are smart enough to play like big leaguers. I let them call half the pitches, unless I called a stupid pitch, which rarely our catchers did. So I'm just sitting on the ground, nauseous, diarrhea, sick as a dog. And which is great, because if you do your job as a coach at practice and all the way through, you don't really need much coaching during the game. Like, I barely even talked to him. I didn't move him on defense. I didn't tell him like, hey, this hitter likes to hit it this way, because that's nonsense. You should hear the other team though, man. They're trying to position guys, like shifting guys. Like, they shifted Knox. There's a off note. They shifted Knox because they're like, hey, he likes to pull the ball, right? And then they gave him a free double. He had a line drive to right field, like right at the right fielder, but there's no right fielder there. Like, hit it down, took the ball the other way, and I'm like, why would you ship 9-year-olds, bro? Like, any given day, they don't have any confidence. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you teach your kids how to use the whole field instead of one swing.
It's overcoaching.
Overcoaching, dude. Like, hey, be aware of the bunt. Like, every single hitter, I'm like, dude, this is my 3-hole hitter. He ain't bunting. Like, just nonsense. Just I hear throughout the game. But anyway, so we end up pitching the same guy we always pitch at the beginning of the game, named Troy. One of my favorite kids. He could throw a fit once in a while, but if you stay on him, he's a stud. He didn't have his best stuff, but he didn't need his best stuff. All he needed was just throw the ball and hit spots once in a while. He likes to crowd righties in, and we just busted all the righties in. They had no chance to do any kind of damage. So they scored 3 runs off him. One run was – we gave him 3 runs. It was like 4 – it would have been 4-0 at the time. One run was a pickoff attempt. Runner got scored at home. The other one was a wild pitch scored from second because he didn't want to cover home. And the other one, he balked the run in. So, like, it could have been steamrolled. Like, it could have been 8-0. But at this point in time, it was 4-3, right? And I take everything, like, to a T. I mean, I mapped up my lineups. I put positions. I matched out if they're going to bring in a righty, they're going to bring in a lefty. I know which kid I'm going to have on the bench. I had one lefty on the bench. I had one righty on the bench. I know what pitchers they had left, who they're going to throw. I know what they like to throw first pitch. So I'm telling these kids, like, hey, this pitch, first pitch, bang it. Teaching them how to read. Like, if this kid comes set at 2 seconds instead of 1 second, it's probably going to be his off-speed pitch. Sit back and just drive it. I'm not giving away pitches like the other team did one time, and I own them. But anyway, so I'm like teaching them all this advanced shit, right? And we just fucking come out blasting, barrel. Even all of our outs were like hit at 100 miles an hour, just screaming outs. And so at this point, Troy gave away 3 runs because he's Troy. He likes to do that if I'm not on him all the time. And all of a sudden, I hear someone. I'm sitting on my bucket, and I'm seeing who's coming up in their lineup. Like, what did we pitch them last time? What have I pitched them, 2 games before that? What can't they hit? And I know exactly what they hit. And I don't even have to give signs anymore because I'm like, just throw the fastball in, jam. Throw it again, jam. Throw it again, swing and miss. And, like, the other team hates it because they're not teaching them. Like, at least tell your kids make an adjustment, right? Like, the kids are good players. It's not on them. It's on their coaches, the coaches of this team called Assault. They didn't have them very well prepared. That I'm going to literally do what I think your weakness is. And so maybe tell your kids to back up off the line a little bit and cheat to the fastball in. That's why I tell my kids, like, hey, this kid keeps throwing you in. Get off the plate and turn and burn on one. You know what I mean? I know you don't like to, but do it. Prove a point. That didn't happen. Like, I've thrown a kid who threw 15 straight sliders, struck out 2 of them, struck out a hitter who hit a home run every game, on their team. Didn't make an adjustment. Wasn't even a strike. We're bouncing sliders first pitch and whoop, swinging at him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I saw a kid on the other team bouncing, I talk to my team in the dugout, say, take until you get a strike. That's it. I know you hit homers, but you're not swinging. But obviously, that's above their coaching standards. They don't know how to do that. They're just fans or dads, or I don't know what they teach, honestly. But anyways, at this point, it's 4-3. And I'm sitting on my bucket, seeing who's coming up with their lineup. Like, how am I going to get easy outs? And I'm going through it. And all of a sudden, I hear someone. And I turn around, and I'm on the field. And it's this person I can't go too much into detail of who it is. Later I found out, I'll tell you. Just talking dumb shit. I turn around, I have my glasses on, and he's like, "Are you afraid you're going to lose to assault?" And I was like, "What?" And then this person gets closer, right? And like
On the field.
5 inches
On the
away,
field.
right there on the field. So I'm sitting on the field and leans over and crosses where you could come from the dugout.
Mm-hmm.
And like, "Yeah, you heard me. Are you afraid you're going to lose to assault?" I'm like, since I've been here, I've never lost to assault. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this team's easy. What are you talking about? This is the easiest championship game. Like, the game before was my championship game. The Braves, that's a good team. They make adjustments. Their coach, that head coach, smart. And so I said that, and the person didn't like it. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I get my hat flicked off. Like, who does that? Like, I was like, this person 5 flicks off my hat, right? So then I go down to pick it up on the ground and turn around, and all of a sudden, a fist punches me in the forehead. And meanwhile, my kids are right there. I don't care if you're Joe Kelly. I don't care if you're a regular coach. A physical altercation of on the field in a 9-year-old game is unacceptable. It's like the craziest, disgusting, ugliest thing I've ever seen, right? And they're known to do that kind of shit because they drink all day, drinking in front of their kids, don't give a crap, cussing. Like my pitcher called balk, and their parents are yelling balk in the stands. Like, dude, grow up. We're gonna beat the shit out of y'all every single time. And so I get punched, and then I have to take a step back because I'll do something stupid. And this person may or may not have been a man or a woman, right? And so
my coach
comes over,
okay,
right?
Go ahead.
My coach comes over and is like, "Do you know this person?" I'm like, "Fuck no. Do you think I know this person?" So my coach comes over, and I'm backing away to clear off steam, and I'm yelling at the other team. And my coach gets bopped in the forehead too. So 2 of us, right? And so at this point, the umpires see and time, blah, 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 you know, the game's going on, ends. And I'm like, this is not safe. Like, I'm done. Like, you guys could have the game. Like, I offered to give them the game, right? It was 4-3. And like, no, all their parents, no, play the game. Let the kids play. And I'm like, well, then get this person out of here and we'll play the game. Like, the umpire's like, no, it's not safe. It's not safe, Joe. Like, you just got physically altercated. Like, we're going to call the cops. I'm like, yeah, call the cops, and then I'll talk to them after the game, right? And I'll fucking arrest this person, right? Because that's physical assault on a baseball field. Number one, that should have happened. Number two, whatever it is, USSSA needs to do a better job at, you know, protecting players and coaches when they know things are getting trippy, especially in a championship game. You know, the 2 teams that were in the semifinals were there watching, you know, big organizations, and they know that this team, there's been physical altercations throughout fucking since dinosaurs were alive. You know what I mean? And so it was just a bad environment in general. Like, I knew we were going to win. The game was over. 4-3, they were saying, like, let them play because they thought they had a chance. And I was like, yeah, let them play. We're going to drop 10 runs on these kids. We have 1 at bat left. We'll score 10 easily. And so this is like a 20-minute delay, cussing. You know, Ashley's like screaming, get this fucking person out of here. Things are getting heated. And the umpire's like, no, we'll just end the game and you guys could have the championship. And meanwhile, in my head, I'm going, number one, that'd be so easy for me to do. They forfeit, we win. Game over, right? But number two, that's taken away from our kids because our kids will know that they always beat the hell out of them, right? Always. And number three, I know some kids on the other team that I like, and I like less than 3 parents on the other side, right? They played with my son in football, and I thought that would be unfair to take that chance away from them, to give them a chance to at least beat us. But, I mean, we all know there was never a chance, right? Because there's 3 things in this world that I tell my team before every time we play them. 3 things that you have to do that are given if you are breathing air. If you're born, ready? Number 1, you have to die. Number 2, you have to pay your taxes, right? That's something you have to do. And number 3, we always beat assault. And my kids love it. They go ape shit. They go, let's go, right? Those are the 3 things that are given in our lifetime, right? So this happens, and little do I know what's going to unfold after, right? Because I'm like, oh, this is easy dub, no worries. We have tons of pitching. We're going to kill these kids. And so I say, no, let's play. Why would I Why would I want a belt like that? Why would I want to play 5 days of tournament, grinding, 110-degree weather, and just let it end like that? And then me looking out for the other kids on the team, not the parents, fuck the parents. Me looking out for the kids on the team going, that's not fair to them. Like, I'm supposed to be a role model, right? So I did the right thing. I walked away from the incident after I got physically assaulted. And I did the right thing again, where I was like, no, let's play the game. Let's play fair. Let's see what happens. And so my mind's all over the place. I went from sitting on the ground throughout the whole game, about to throw up, shit my pants, to then getting physically assaulted. And now our parents don't say anything. They're quiet. They barely even cheer for our team because it's just business. They know we're going to win. And so this all goes on. And then we have our at-bats, which is top of the fifth. And then they have their at-bats. And then we'll have our at-bats again, which is top of sixth. And they have their at-bats, so they're the home team. And so I go to third base, right? Because meanwhile, I was on my thing trying to mark the next hitters, right, with my pitching. And then I get punched in the forehead. So I go to coach third base to kind of cool myself. And we get 3 outs, and they're all hyped because it's a 1-run game. And I go back in, and then I start talking to my coaches, the parents, like, I can't believe this happened. Like, this shouldn't happen in any kind of youth sports. Like, there should be no physical altercation whatsoever. So now it's the bottom of the fifth. And so now I haven't even gone to, like, look at my book, keep track of anything. And now the inning starts. And so my pitcher, Logan, who's one of my favorites, a Bulldog too, he comes in and just flips little cutters and sliders to their best hitters. Like I said, 15 straight times. Easiest inning ever. Boom, 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 1, 2, 3. Okay? So then I come back and talk to my team, 1-run game. Like, they all saw what happened. Like, coach, you all right? You good? I'm like, of course I'm all right, dude. Like, you think if I wasn't all right, like no, like, are you good? Like, do you need to throw up? I'm like, oh, no, I'm fine. My stomach feels good now. And so they're like, all right, we got you, coach. And, like, that's the coolest thing. Like, my players respond to incidents like that. Like, I took them in the dugout. I said, I know the emotions are high. What I want to do is we're all going to take a deep breath together. So they were like, really? So I was like, close your eyes. We all took a deep breath. They undid it. And then I might have said some cuss words, right? I probably shouldn't say it to 9-year-olds, but they all know me. So I said, let's go fucking kick their ass. And so we get out. We get our at-bats. Knox leads us off. Nobody out, nobody on. They're shifting Knox to left field. And I say, Knox, he throws a fastball. Just hit it to right field. Easy as double. Boom. Long at-bat. 6 pitches. Whack. Double. Screaming double. I mean, barrel. And there was nobody in right field because they'd move them all the way over to the left because they think they know something that I don't know, right? But I teach my kids how to use the whole field. And so then it just starts to rally. Just din, 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 din. Then our pitcher comes up, he had his first career homer ever over the fence in this tournament. My pitcher comes up, guy on second, 2 outs, bam, Oppo Taco. The pitcher is just flipping in weak little sliders up there. And that sealed the deal, dude. I look at them, devastated. We're up by 5. Freaking, their kids are on the ground, and I see them on the ground, and I'm like looking at third base. I'm like, dude, get up. I know them. I'm like, get up. That's a bad look. Like, it's just a baseball game, bro. Like, their coaches are saying nothing, not like get off the ground. Like, you know, they're dead, completely dead. Coaches are quiet. I don't even hear them talking. So inning over, we need 3 outs. World Series champs. 3 outs. That's it. And so, like I said, emotions are high. Shit's getting crazy. My pitcher goes out. First pitch swinging, boom, easy out. Next guy gets on. Next guy gets out. Still flipping little cutters, little sliders. Third hitter comes up, and I'm not paying attention. I'm just, like, enjoying it. And I knew Logan only had 2 innings the whole time, right? But my mind was somewhere else, knowing that I was about to get this person arrested after the game, knowing that we were about to win the World Series. It was a 5-run game, dude. A 5-run game. I had 8 pitchers available who could have threw 8 innings. I mean, the other team could have had the 12 disciples hitting on their team, and fucking my worst pitcher could have flipped in a little weak curveball, and they would have swung. Whoop, pop it up, because they're not disciplined enough. It's the most undisciplined, best talented team I've ever seen, and it's not the kids' fault. I love those kids, good athletes, good baseball players, but their coaches trash, their organization trash, right? Parents trash, except for 3 parents probably that I like. But anyways, like I said, they could have had Jesus parting or Moses parting the Red Sea batting. It would have mattered. I would have called the slider. They would have popped it up like he did, popped it up to my shortstop. Shortstop catches it. Kids go ape shit, celebrate on the field. And I'm just sitting back watching my hands, just letting them enjoy it, right? Like, if they won, their coaches would have been like taking their shirts off and shit. But I got 3 World Series rings. You know what I mean? I don't need that. I don't need a 9-year-old. I was celebrating with 9-year-olds on the field. So I'm letting them enjoy. And all of a sudden, I see this little weasel run from the stands coming down, right? I'm like, what's this guy doing? This guy's name is Judas. No, not Judas. That's from the backstabber in the Bible. This guy's name's Louis, right? This guy's named Louis. And he's like their head of the organization, right? I got a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old level. Anyway, so he comes running out from the stands and starts talking to umpires. And I'm like watching our kids enjoy it while I'm watching this going on. And so everything happens, game's over. Kids are clearing out. Parents are happy. Everyone's taking photos. We clear our dugout. They clear our dugout. And they're like, Joe, come here. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I walk over there with the umpire, and you have to sign the game card, right? And so I go sign the card, and they're like, hey, they're protesting about something about outs or how many outs your pitcher got. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And so it didn't even cross my mind. And so I sign it, and their manager, his name is Sal, he signs it, right? Game over. And so if you protest, the rule is the manager has to protest. The manager didn't protest. But the head of their organization, which is like, let's just say Andrew Friedman, comes running out, wasn't on the field, comes running out and protests the game because my pitcher, who was allowed 6 innings, threw a first pitch to the last hitter, popped him up, which now put him at 6.1 outs, right? 6.1 outs. Me, knowing before that would probably be a problem, right? But since I got physically assaulted and had this person arrested after the game and trying to stop parents from fighting each other and trying to let my pitcher who hit the homer the inning before just finish the inning because he didn't need to because he was killing him. I could have thrown anyone to save his arm, but I wanted him to enjoy the last out. Like, that's a reward. It's like Walker Buehler closing out the World Series. Julio Urias closing out the World Series. You know what I mean? Chris Sale closing out the World Series, right? Those are all 3 guys that closed the World Series on my teams. Mm-hmm. It's a reward of someone who's put in the time, and he is one of my best players. And from the beginning of the year, he wasn't. From now, he is, right? Because that's what good coaching does. You get your players better, right? I mean, we played this team a million times. They've been the same team. They haven't gotten any better. Literally, have gotten 0 times better, which is crazy. Supposedly they practice. Supposedly they do all this stuff. They have their own facility, which I don't know why you would go and pay money to go work with them. Like, I'll give you fucking free lessons right back there. You see that? I have a batting cage way back there. I'll give you a free lesson, bro. In 30 minutes, you'll learn more than what you'd learned in the past year with this assault. Oh, by the way, this team's name is Salt, bro, and I got physically assaulted on the field, right? How funny is that? So anyways, this little weasel comes running out of the stands, and they're saying they're protest. So no one knows what's going on. We got to go to both teams, all the parents go to the front office, and we wait there for an hour. Long story short, they end up winning because of the rule. Well, the rule is the manager has to do it, so they didn't win that. The other rule was you have to pay a $100 fine to protest, right? The rule is you have to pay it in cash. They paid in Venmo. So if I hire a lawyer, which I could hire a lawyer and waste money, right? And I could get our championship back. But we all know we're champs. The semifinal team's the Braves. That's fucking bullshit. You guys are champs. That guy's a weasel. The MVP, which is a big organization, said you guys are champs. It's not the first time they pull crazy shit like this. They do it all the time. But anyways, this little rat protests the game. We end up losing, right? Because our kid got 1 more out. And it wasn't even close to baseball. It should have been 8-0. I gave him free runs basically. Like, here, let's make it close. Considering the fact that I had a chance to end the game and take a free win, but I didn't because I'm not a bitch. You know what I mean? They're bitches. Me? No. And so what does that look like on 9-year-olds, right? You know what I mean? Like, if I ended the game, what would that look like me? Like, all those practices, 3 hours, all those times at the cage, all those bullpens I work with my pitchers, like how to throw an 0-2 pitch, how to throw a 1-2 pitch, how to bounce a slider, how to front door slider, how to back. Like, all the little things that I taught just goes out the window because I took the chance away from them to show off the talents. And then I'm taking it from the other side. So anyways, we sit there for hours. Phone call comes through. You guys lost. And I'm like, perfect. Like, this is what you guys want to show. And meanwhile, that's just the kind of people they are, right? Obviously, it happened, which is incredible to me because the person who protested, right? Louis is his name. Slimeball. He's known to be Slimeball. We've had multiple messages from throughout the country about how dirty this guy is, which blows my mind, right? Because you want to have good character, right? And let these things go on. Like, there should be no room for that in Little League, any kind of thing. And then to have a high profile person like myself happen to me, like, number one, the organization USSSA has to take better care of high profile people. Number two, they should take care of all coaches. If something's getting chirpy, there should be some kind of like, I guess, like teaching thing, like where you teach these umpires, like, hey, if something's getting called, you call time, go get security to come watch the rest of the game. Protocol, some kind of protocol. Mm-hmm. So they're at fault there too, right? So like, I could take this a step further and then probably sue USSSA and I'll win it, hands down. Or I'll make USSSA waste money, and I got tons of money to waste, right? Like, I give to charity, but I'll give it to a lawyer to just waste USSSA's time and take them to court if they want, right? Because we are the rightful champs. So all this happens. Oh, like I said, where was it going? Oh, this guy Louis, right? Supposedly good character. People are like, oh, he's so nice. This guy coaches at a high school, which is a well-known high school for sports, but they are a private Catholic school, which is, you would think that they're holy, right? They teach the Bible, that you would want someone with high character, someone who is God-fearing, that is an employee of the school, to kind of take those morals and values along with them on and off their campus, right? So this guy is an employee of a private Catholic school in the SoCal area. Number one, if you're looking to go to a private Catholic school, there's options that are close. You could go to Damien High School. You could go to Pomona Catholic. Make a drive, go somewhere farther, right? So for future reference. So this school also needs to take a step back. Bishop Amont, I'm calling you out, and look at this guy's character of what he did to 9-year-olds off your guys' premises. But you should know that the people that you hire, what they are like on and off the field. Number one. I'm not saying I am religious. People know my character. People know I like to say what I think. But I'm not going out there working for a fucking Christian school or Catholic school, right? And we all know what happened with the Catholics. You know, who knows? But they should understand that this is the kind of people that are possibly working for them. So long story short, this Judas guy ends up backstabbing our team and taking it away and ripping out of a 9-year-old kids, right? Just because they haven't been able to actually beat us in a year, maybe a whole year. We've played them 8 times. I've thrown the same pitcher at them the last 4 times, and they still can't hit them. If they throw the same pitcher at me twice, one time they'll get away with maybe beating us, like if they're really, really good. If we see them again, I promise you, we will shit on them, because I know exactly what they throw, where they like to throw, what they throw first pitch, what the coach calls with the 1-2 count, what his glove looks like if he's kind of digging. And so we will boat race you if you throw your pitcher again at me for a second time if he's good. Trust me, we will tattoo him. We are the best team in the country. We will tattoo him. So I throw this kid 4 times in a row, and he's beat him 4 times in a row. And he was at his worst. Couldn't throw strikes. Wasn't throwing hard. Was throwing fits on the mound. And I love this kid, Troy. He's one of my best. He's a dog. So it's nothing against Troy. I will have Troy. I will coach Troy as long as I'm a coach. But anyway, so then I throw my other pitcher, Logan. Very similar. He's probably in a tier below my 2-3 best starters, right? And then I have a bunch of kids that are very similar. Logan is right there to being thrown 5-6 innings against the best teams in the country. But I just let Logan finish it, like I said, because I wanted to reward him for being player of the fucking tournament. He would have been MVP of the tournament, right? And so, long story short, we're not winners. We went 8-0 and don't have belts because of 1 out. And people say rules are rules, yeah. But the situation that happened prior is what now people need to understand why things happen, why the out slipped my mind as a coach. When you get physically assaulted by a person now, I will tell you, is now a family member of the manager of assault. So the person that I had arrested, or it's going to have arrested, I have all the paperwork. Well, I'll see you in court, by the way, is now assaulting me on the baseball field and a coach during a game is a sibling of the manager of the other team. And so I let that play on, and I forgot about my pitch count. They should be like, oh, that makes sense. Like, we just fucking – that's like my brother going over and punching their coach.
Right.
Yeah. And then so, like, if someone – a parent came to me, I don't even keep track of that. I don't give a fuck if they pitch a kid 50 innings because we're going to beat them. It doesn't matter. You can pitch them every inning. Go ahead. Break all the rules, please, because we're going to hit homers off of them. I promise you. Because you're just giving me more time to see your pitcher. And I will tell my team, give him the first pitch strike, or don't swing until the second pitch, because the second pitch has been 80% curveball and hit it over the wall. You know what I mean? These coaches don't keep track of that. I do, because I'm a big leaguer. So all this happens, the family member assaults me, and so that slips my mind that we went one extra out. And so while they're trying to see who wins and loses the tournament, I'm with the cops, writing up a thing. After this ends, they said, you guys lose, you pitch one more out. I got our team out of there because otherwise we would have fucking sliced their necks off, the people who did it. So I get a call from the officer, hey, come down and identify the person. So then now I'm taking my son to the police station because that's how dirty their parents are, or that's how dirty the other side is, right? Embarrassing. And what's even worse is I asked the manager on the team, I was like, get that fucking person out. Do you know who that person is? And he didn't say a word, knowing that that was a family, that was the sibling of him.
Right.
And so then I take my son, who's starving, he's been playing all day. He's like, Dad, I just want to go eat. I was like, well, we have to go to the fucking Riverside County Sheriff's Office to identify this person. So they give me 6 pictures. Bam. That's it. Boom. Court date. See you later. So, like I said, this could have all been avoided, right? But it's not now. Now I got to put it out there because people need to understand that it's just a fucking kids game, right? And if that happened at my side, I would have took a forfeit for our team. I'm like, we're done. That's embarrassing. That's the most embarrassing look. I don't care if it was a player that's new on our team to a player old. If that happened, if my family member did that, I would have called time, game over, we lose, you guys have it. Because that can't happen on any baseball field. On a regular game, a Little League game, a pony game, a YMCA game, USSSA, perfect game, football, any fucking game. You know what I mean? It's disgusting, it's sinister, and it's insidious to understand that that kind of thing happens in youth sports, especially coming from someone who's supposed to be a Catholic, especially coming from the other side that was getting their ass kicked, and then they're trying to weasel to find a way to fucking win a baseball game. It shouldn't happen, and USSSA and their organization and Bishop Amont all need to understand that these kind of people are coaches, and they should probably do what Little League does and start either understanding what kind of people they're playing for, which is hard because travel ball is private parties. But in Little League, you get background checks. You kind of understand, see where this person's been. Do they have any priors? You know, are they good characters? Does the community think highly of them? And then you become a Little League coach. Little League does that, but nobody else does. So what we're dealing with here is not only the fact that I gave them a chance to play the game out when I could have ended it, and then they go back and backstab our team, our 9-year-olds, and then they could walk away and go home and be like, yeah, we won. Like, no, you guys got fucking boat raced for the 7th time in the last year. The 7th time in the past year, you haven't been close to beating us. You got close one time. You were up 7 runs, but guess what? You guys blew it. Because I just told my kids to take pitches because your pitcher couldn't throw strikes. We came back and scored 8 runs, beat you guys. Like, just know, if you are a parent and you are looking for a travel ball team in Southern California, or you're trying to get lessons, do not go to whatever this facility is called in West Covina. Whoever runs the West Covina facility, assault. Go to somewhere closer. Go to PFA. Go to EM. Go to ZT. Go to Futures in Corona. Go anywhere. Listen to your mom, who's probably watched numerous videos on how to swing or hit on Instagram from an Instagram coach. Don't waste your money and go to this facility in West Covina, because the person running it is of zero character. Zero. And he's a disgusting human being, because everybody will know. Everyone already knows, but now the whole world's going to know what kind of person this is. Right?
That's what we're doing.
That's it.
We're spreading the word.
It's disgusting. It shouldn't happen in any kind of sport.
By the way, excellent job by using the word insidious.
That's what it is.
It is. I mean, it is. I'm not
I
even.
would never think twice.
I honestly
not only
like
to win a game or lose a game, to do that to kids. I could care less.
Joe. If I didn't know you, if you were the faceless, nameless person, you told me that story. I don't know the other people. We've talked a million times about how ridiculous this has become.
Ridiculous,
Right?
dude.
But this is.
It's because their parents sucked at sports, and now their kids are good.
Right, right. And you know, and for you know, there's so many. If you talk about the problems, like there's a lot of great people, right?
Yep. Tons.
There's good people. There's good people on that other side, right?
100%. A handful.
But you just listed it. You just listed three different people, three different categories, which unfortunately they're out of control. Parents, coach, organization administrator. Right?
Need to do a better job.
Right. So it's like this is an outlier, but sometimes you have to.
It's not an outlier. I thought it was, but
But
my wife has had numerous stories of people telling
me. But not. This is like unbelievable. This is like so.
It's an organizational thing, but across the board.
Sometimes you have to have this story in order to.
I got physically assaulted.
But to be
at a 9-year-old baseball game. I have an arrest warrant in my house, in my room upstairs.
You know, the part that I didn't know that we were talking about was that this person was the sibling of the coach,
the manager,
of the manager, and so that right there, I mean, it's true. What if your brother came out and punched the coach,
right?
And you'd be like, oh yeah. Because you probably would have run over and like, what are you doing? Like what?
100%. I would, and like I said,
what did the coach say when?
Nothing. Quiet.
Nothing?
Bro, I didn't even get an apology. From anybody on that side. Now that I know that I was a sibling, not even an apology. Right?
Yeah.
Quiet. We had an hour after the game to dispute this whole fucking protest when the protest rules are rules, right? But they also didn't follow the rules where you have to do it while the teams are on the field. They didn't. You have to pay the $100 in cash. They didn't. They Venmo'd. And it has to be done by the manager, number 3. It wasn't the manager. So I don't even know how they won the protest. USSSA, wake the fuck up, bro. Jeez Louise. If you're going to write those rules, follow them, right?
Yeah.
And going just off of one rule of he pitched 6.1 innings instead of – I have 3 rules I just named that disqualify that protest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't even looking for the belt, bro. Like I don't need a belt. I'll make my team belts, and it's gonna say last year. I'm not even gonna have the rest of the games. Braves, great organization. That coach a lot. Their team, well coached team, right? We beat them in the semis. MVP. Sometimes people don't like them. Sometimes you like them. Well coached. Can't argue that, right? Vandals, we beat them in the quarters. Good organization. Those kids have been playing together forever. They know how to play baseball, just not as talented. You know what I mean? But there's great organizations out there. Great. LA Crawford's one of the best in the country, right? Great organization. They win baseball games. Sometimes they're a little flashy. People don't like it. Oh, well. That's fine. But their parents aren't fighting parents in the stands. You know what I mean? They're not. Their siblings aren't coming on the field.
Let me ask you this. Like, have you ever, you've been around youth sports a little bit now. Have you ever seen a parent come out and punch a coach?
Nope.
Neither have I.
No, I've seen it like a coach go in the stands and fight the parent, but like while I was sitting on the bucket with my back turned, you know what I mean? And then getting my attention and then whacking off my hat like a 2-year-old. And then while I come back up, then a bop in the forehead. And then my coach runs over and tries to like, you know this person is a joke? I'm like, no. And I had to like walk away and then bops my other coach. Get out of here, bro. You're that mad that you can't beat us? Just get better. Go find coaches who are better. You know what I mean? Like your team's talented enough. Find a way to get better. You know what I mean?
This is when we started Baseball's Been Boring.
Baseball isn't boring.
Well, yeah, but we shouldn't have to put it sometimes in a bad way.
Oh, terrible way. It was character gone, dude. Gone.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well,
but I just felt bad for the kids, dude. That's
the other, that's obviously.
It doesn't bother me, right? It's sad because the parents put in all that time and effort. I mean, people are driving 2.5 hours to play 3 games one day in 110-degree heat, right? They're making sacrifices when they could be going on vacation in summer. It's the last tournament. These kids this might be the last time they ever play together. I had a kid on my team leaving the next day to move to Texas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just sad that they put in all this work, and people always say, well, my team puts in work. Well, your team also doesn't have a big league coach who just got done playing maybe like 4 months ago and is teaching them big league things. Like, you might have a big league coach who played like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but someone who is teaching them how the big leagues are just played, like what we do to take advantage of teams, how to get better, what are the little details. Like, that's the difference of working hard to me. And we've done that for the past year. And then to get it taken away by 1 out and on an accidental error. Like, you think I would do that on purpose? I don't give a shit about 9-year-old.
No, listen.
To purposely cheat.
Listen,
Oh, get out of here.
the whole thing is like, once
we could have rolled the ball underhand.
Well, again, that's stupid that they're trying to take advantage of that one stupid thing. But
it's just dirty.
Instead of they're focusing.
Congratulating. They're so mad that they didn't win. They're not even congratulating.
Well, also, instead of focusing, they're focusing on we won. Everybody should have been focused on basically you ever see the original Bad News Bears?
Oh yeah.
Right. So the original Bad News Bears, when they're all pissed off because they're not feeling like they're playing the right way.
Yeah.
Like, they don't care. They don't want this winning has gone out the window.
Yeah.
Well, they should have all been like, you know what, coaches, kids, everybody. Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter what the result is now because this lunatic came out of the stands and punched the coaches, and
lunatic
and ruined the whole thing. And then obviously you're down 5 runs, and you're down 5 runs
with 2 outs.
And so this guy.
Do you think they were going to score? Well, first of all, they couldn't score any runs with a lot of outs, but we only had to get 1 out. Like I said, I could have thrown my 5-year-old against them, Crew, to just lob it in there.
So the guy who came down and pointed out the extra out, right?
Yeah.
What
makes it dirtier is that he was waiting on it because he knew it was about to happen.
But so that's
where you say, "Hey, time, your pitcher's about to go over the limit."
That's
what I would have done.
But
even if he goes over the limit, my team, someone brings this to me, like, I don't give a fuck. We lost. Get the fuck out of here.
So that's
exactly. I'm gonna take it away from the other team. Like,
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
I actually probably would have kicked that parent off the team. Like, you brought that to my attention. You're whack too. Get out of here.
Because he was sitting there and he was thinking
he was waiting for the out.
Well, yes, and
this knew we were about to blow. And that's how dirty he is, and that's what I'm saying. Mr. Vermont, take a look at who you hired.
Joe, this is a microcosm of one of the problems is that guy is living vicariously through that moment. Right, he's living vicariously through that moment,
and he'll probably, like, his mind is probably so gone that he's like, well, a rule's a rule.
No,
like, bro,
his thing is look at how smart I was. I was able to implement this. I got to win, which is like that's. I guarantee you that's the mindset because you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
especially after everything that happened.
You
probably should have just said, "Hey, listen, I just want to give you the heads up."
Yeah, no.
So,
no.
Yeah. Anyway.
And what's crazy is if it was a perfect game, which is way better unusual to say, but there's not many in California, right? If it's a perfect game World Series, what happens at that point is there could be a protest, but the umpires are notified, and then they say you have to take this pitcher out, and now your pitcher is out for the rest of the tournament, right? Well, since it was a championship game, the pitcher couldn't hit, so we'd have to give him out at the plate, right? He couldn't come back on the field, so if I use my subs, we'd have to play 8. But that's the rule in perfect game. You don't forfeit the fucking tournament, right? Like, we forfeited the whole tournament, the championship game. You know what I mean? But perfect game would have been like, no, you forfeit your player, and now your player's out of the game. So if he hits, it's an out, and you're playing 8 if you have 8, right? And I would have been happy. Fine, take our pitcher out, and we'll just play the infield. We need 1 out. We'll play the infield.
Yeah.
Or give me a pitcher catcher, and I guarantee I'll get a strikeout before you. I'll get 1 strikeout by calling pitches. I promise you. With any of my pitches, by the time you guys score 5 runs, with no fielders. Wow. And so this slime ball just was waiting on it. Loser, bro. What a loser. That's crazy.
Well, we'll spread the word. That's what we're here for. Well,
100%.
Gotta try. I mean, it's and I'm not just saying this because
it's just
because this is our podcast and everything. I'm saying this because Joe, I honestly,
this story, this has probably happened.
This is an important message. This is a microcosm of the problem that we mentioned a lot. And hey, listen, if it happens to a high profile person like yourself, great.
That's worse.
But I'm sure
a regular person, it shouldn't happen. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. You feel better?
No, I'm still pissed.